Stark, man. This is the new creator here. I'm lost at space. Oh, what's up? So, I had a dream last night. Luckily, it wasn't a dream about my family. I hate when my family's in my dream because they're so inbred and stuff. It's like there's so many of them. It's like once you see one of them, you know you're going to see the rest 150 of them. Nasty stuff. And annoying stuff. They're always annoying in the dreams. I try to take control of my dreams. And that makes me want to have war with them. Well, most likely, my dad tried to talk to me in my sleep. He did that to me when I was a kid. And he's like, did I change your dream in this weird way? Why? Should have never told me that, old man. Anyways, last night I had a good dream, an awesome dream, because it did not involve any family member at all. Thank God. And it was a horror dream too. Thank God. That's double. I like horror dreams. I'm a lucid dreamer, so when it comes down to it, I can take on a nightmare. Honestly, I can beat a nightmare, and that's what I did last night. I was attacked at space. See, I watched these two movies last night, and I knew watching these movies, when I was watching, I'm like, dang, this one's so brutal that I might end up dreaming about it. Now, the other one, I was like, okay, I didn't see that one coming. The two movies I watched last night was called Medieval, or Me Die Evil, Me Die Evil. That's medieval, right? Ain't that weird? Look, let's sound out medieval. Me Die Vil. Me Die Vil. Isn't that weird? It's like me die in this village. It's like that's what medieval meant. Medieval meant the Black Plague. Medieval meant you're going to have a sword fight, most likely. Medieval meant you don't have a choice. If you're in the poor, you don't have a choice to be rich. Unlike today, you do have that choice. So I don't want to hear people like, unless if they're like butt poor, homeless poor, with no money at all. They kind of don't have a choice. They have to be where they're at because they're kind of stuck there with no money. But us in the low income range, we should be able to buy our way up to the middle income range. We can. It just takes your brain. I'm not going to tell you exactly how because I got to do it first. I got to get out of this place. I deserve to get out of this place the most. I don't care. I'm going to say that straight up. I deserve the most to get out of this low income range. I'm creative, I'm strong, and I'm strong-willed, and I can't be broken. I deserve it. I deserve it. I should have been dead 10 times because of the stupid outcomes of fast drivers, poisonous snakes, bad family members, not being watched properly, this and that. And then I almost lost my life 7 times in different ways due to my own hands. You put those two things together like, wow, you're still alive? Yes, I'm still alive. That's why I think I deserve the most out of anyone in the low income poverty to get up to at least the middle income, or even better, the high income, because I can entertain them. I can create money for them. I can give them ideas to make more money. I'm here to help the rich at this point. I can't help these people. These people don't want to be helped in the low income because they choose this life. That's what I believe. I believe they choose this life. Not the young, but the adults. They do choose this life because right now we have so many ways of becoming rich, and easily too. But they choose this life. Okay? You don't have to choose this, people. Not unless if you're stuck on the street. When you're stuck on the street, you kind of have to choose that because you don't have enough money to make the next move. But now here in America, they're trying to get these homeless people like $1,400 a month for whatever they need, if it's food or if it's for real cash. Now they can't give them all real cash because they've been doing this for the past, I'd say around 6-7 years. They were, they were giving homeless people $750. So now they're giving them $1,400. But the reason why they have to make sure if they either go to EBT or straight up cash is because a lot of them are choosing to be homeless. They're choosing to take that money and just stay homeless because they know they get that free money. Well, that sickens me because you know why? Not everyone homeless gets that program. Not everyone homeless gets that chance to have that $750 or that $1,300. And meanwhile, you got people choosing to be homeless to take that money from them. Well, you need to find out these people and stop them. And that's what you need to do. Or at least take their money away and give it to someone else homeless that actually wants to try to get up to a low income range. Because they deserve it. They deserve it like I deserve it to get out of here. Okay? Honestly. Let's get back to sorry I got off topic. It just sickens me how this stupid operation works. Anyways, back to the dream. So the dream starts off with me floating in space. I always love floating in space, yeah. Honestly, I really do love, like, it's funny because I watched Buzz Lightyear movie, the new one, before I fell asleep. So of course, I had a dream that started off floating in space because that was like the second main character's granddaughter's like fear of like jumping through or being lost in space because she's scared like once you jump out in space, if you're not jumping towards anything in particular, well, you're just gonna sit there and float until you just hit something, until you go straight on. That's true. That's how space works. You can see that in a Futurama episode where Bender gets lost in space. It's the most funniest episode they got. I think I love that episode where Bender becomes God in that episode and meets God. How? Because he was a robot just floating in space in one direction. He eventually found him. Anyways, so my dream starts off like that. I'm just floating in space. I have no destination. There's nothing ahead of me, nothing behind me. And so I'm like, I must have been floating for a while. So, oh well, at least this is night. I like it better than being around people, honestly. So, I'll choose this any day. I spoke too soon though. Because as soon as I thought of that, boom, ahead of me appears a witch and I stopped floating forward. Like I knew how to control myself in space. That's my lucid dreaming right there kicking in. When you know how lucid dream, you don't have to worry about that problem with real life in space where you just float on in space. No, you can actually control it in your dream where you can actually change yourself to make yourself like a ghost in space and just zip through space at light speed. That's what I usually do. It's fun. If you know how to. I don't want to teach how to because it's part of my cartoon too, so I'm not going to spoil that. And when you see my cartoon about it, it'll probably be called like learning how to fly in space or something like that. You'll see. It's an interesting episode. Anyways, in this dream last night, so this witch appears. I know a witch when I see a witch. Trust me, I've dealt with witches before, especially in dreams. Long nose, nasty face, nasty laugh, and right away they use their little magic, zap, 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 to attack me with. Well, this one didn't use the magic. See, not only did I watch Lightyear before I fell asleep, but I watched the movie Medieval, like I told you, before I fell asleep. And in that movie Medieval, man, that's one brutal movie. They got crossbows, they got maces, they got swords. The way they fought in medieval time, much more satisfying to watch than the new wars. Honest to God, I think. I'm like, dang, in the medieval time they fought with swords, maces, and arrows. In the Western times, they fought with quick draws. Now, they fight with viruses and stupid giant tanks. Like, where has the honor gone? Where has the strength gone? Where has the warrior gone? There is no more warrior in wars anymore. That's why I don't view as the new wars like as good as the old wars. Because back then it was more even, you know. You take a sword to a sword battle. Now it's like you take a tank to a drone battle. It's confusing, but it's how it is, really. Anyways, this witch, instead of zapping me, she zaps a crossbow in her hand. And then I'm like, oh crap, she done it so fast, and it caught me off guard because I never seen a witch really use a weapon, only use her magic powers. And so I'm trying to sit there and think, maybe this isn't a witch, you know? And while I'm thinking that, boom, she shoots me right in the eyeball with a crossbow. I take a crossbow to the eyeball, and I'm just there in space like, oh my God. Like, I just got shot in the eye. What do I do? What do I do? You know, I'm a little bit freaking out, but at the same time, I'm not fully freaking out because I'm like, okay, I just gotta kill this witch and I'll be good. It's only me and her up here in space. Like, if I kill her, then there's my enemy. They're down and they're gone. There's no one else up here, so I shouldn't have to worry about anyone else, right? I close my eyes, and then I can see the head of the arrow, like, when I close my eyes. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, good. The arrow didn't go deep enough to hit my brain, so I can just pull this arrow out, right? And then so I grab it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. And then I try to look at the witch again, and I realize all I could see is out of my left eye. And I'm like, ah, crap. And then so I'm just like, quickly ripped it out, and I could feel like a hole inside my eye. But I start to heal it right away. See, in my dreams, don't forget, I'm a lucid dreamer. I know how to use powers in dreams, so I can heal myself in a dream if I ever need to, like that situation. And I did. I healed it right away. Like, I closed up the wound, but it was just like a little dent. I felt every time I closed or blinked, I can feel that I got shot in the eye with an arrow, but I could still see pretty good after I pulled it out and cleaned it. And it was funny because the witch was like, how did you do that? And then I was just like, I heal myself, idiot. And then that's when I just straight up, I launched at her and I uppercut her right in the stomach. And then she goes spinning like a little dreidel, I guess. I don't know what else, a spinner or something, just spinning up into space. Like, in how space works, if you get launched into space one direction, you're going to keep going that direction if you don't know how to stop it. And here's the best part. I knew that the witches aren't lucid dreamers. They're cheating dreamers. They use black magic to lucid dream, and because of that, they don't have dream powers. They have witch powers in dreams, but they don't have dream powers. And so she couldn't stop herself. She just went lost in space. I'm like, that takes care of her. And I kept going on. Now you think, wow, that's an interesting dream. It's not over yet. My mission continued. I was on a mission, I didn't even know it. I was like Buzz Lightyear basically in my dream, minus the cat and the team. Which was fine because that's the way I like my missions, honestly. I don't like it when I have the people to protect and stuff because honestly, most of the time it's like it's impossible to protect them because they're so weak. Well, that was my dream, you know. I got to the planet. I realized that I don't know if these are good or bad people, so I woke myself up. I love to wake myself up in my dreams. It's weird how I wake myself up. I actually force my eyes open, and it wakes myself up abruptly. You're probably thinking, how do you do this in your dream? Well, it's like this. When you're opening your eyes, you're just trying to open them as wide as you can, and you sit there and you only focus on your eyes opening. You only forget about the dream, try focus on waking yourself up by opening your eyes, and boom, you wake up. At least it works for us lucid dreamers. It's not going to work for people that don't know how to lucid dream though. I realize that. Because every time I tell it to people, they act like it's impossible. But when I tell it to a lucid dreamer, they're like, oh yeah, I know that trick. It's the first trick you learn to wake yourself up. Because when you realize it, when you first start lucid dreaming, it's crazy dreams. It's uncontrollable at first. But then once it starts to be controlled, even when it's controlled, it could end up being even crazier and crazier. You could go down a story path that you don't really want to go down, and it's only subconsciously you know it because you watch something before you go to sleep that could play a part of it. See, when you're lucid dreaming, you can control the dream itself at times, but you have to put yourself in a deep sleep to do that. If you're in a light sleep, you're most likely going to have the background dream be part of what you watched before you fell asleep. I guess that's just because that's the difference between deep and light sleep. Light sleep you don't really have full. Now in light sleep though, even though you can't control a background and what's happening around in the dream, you can control yourself. See, like with most dreamers in dreams that don't lucid dream, they can't control themselves at all most of the time. They're doing stuff like I don't remember how it was, but I remember before I learned how to lucid dream, it was the same way. Where it's like, I went to go do something, I'm like, why am I doing that stuff? I don't want to do that. I woke up thinking, why did I do that, I don't do that anymore though after I started lucid dreaming. I don't wake up thinking, why did I do that? Because most of the things I do, it's on my own, like, my own plans. 2 to 3 years ago, this is pretty interesting since we're on the topic before I end off this video. And the dream's over, not much to talk about other than lucid dreaming. I love talking about lucid dreaming, I really do. 2 to 3, probably 3 years ago, when I was lucid dreaming, I actually went around and I got bored with my lucid. See, basically I've been lucid dreaming for like probably 10 years now. Yeah, I think I started when I was 15, now I'm 25. It's been 10 years since I've been lucid dreaming. I'm not a full lucid dreamer because I don't have the time to practice it. Once I get out of this hellhole though, I will. I'll practice the heck out of it so I can finish off my last trainings of it. Here I can't do that. I just can't do it here. You need a peace of mind for the last steps, and you need to be able to concentrate and focus and get the sleep to on time that you need to be asleep. You can't have people waking you up at certain times, or that's just not going to be able to do. You can't deal with that. You can be able to do the first part maybe if you're lucky. Mostly when you're in high school, that's the best time to start practice lucid dreaming, because you can get that first part practice, which is just like, you wake up, and after you wake up you write down your dream, and then you put your clock to like say for like 3 hours as you sleep, and wake you up like 3 hours later, write down what you dream, and then you go back to sleep trying to continue that dream. And you keep doing that night after night, keep adding an hour, and eventually you won't need the book to write down your dream, and you'll just be able to remember it in your head and just go back to dreaming, like go right back to it. And once you're able to go right back to your old dream, that's when you completed that first step. Also, you have to be able to control yourself, of course. Now, if you want to be able to drown the world in your dream, or do some crazy stuff, you gotta practice it. And that's the level I'm not even at. I'm only at the level where I can control myself mostly. In deep sleep, maybe I can make it sometimes fun, but I never get the really deep sleep that much anymore because of hell I live in. Anyways, lucid dreaming is fun. Lucid dreaming should be a talent that you should want, honestly. Helps with your sleep. It really does. You have a nightmare. If you're a lucid dreamer, you're most likely, you're the nightmare to that nightmare. Because that's what I was about to tell you. 3 or 4 years ago, after so much time of lucid dreaming, eventually I got to the point where I didn't know what to lucid dream anymore. Honestly, I was like, I've done mostly all I wanted to do in the dream world, and there's not much else to do. Like, I legit, for like the past 7 to 6 years, I've been like putting up a whole story, which you all are going to see in the cartoon version, So that's why I kind of did that. But I mean, not really, I did that for the fun of it, but then I realized how good of a story it was. It turned out to be. Like, I didn't expect it to be so drama-filled and so intense every step, Every step it was intense. There was always something going on, and it was always like some kind of wars that was going to happen. But the most fun part was after I finished the story. See, I finished the story and I was like, well, it's like the ending of Dragon Ball. It's like, once you end the Dragon Ball Z series, you gotta make the Dragon Ball Super series. And, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why it took them so long to think of that new Dragon Ball series, is because it's not that easy. When after you do all you want to do in your story, you have to, push the boundaries after that if you want to continue the story. And that's why best stories have an ending to them, honestly. Let's be honest. You don't want a cliffhanger, you want an ending. And that's what I did, basically. I made an ending to my story so I can go and continue and do new stuff with my dream world, with stuff that I didn't have to, like, remember. And the first thing I did was, after I finished my story in the dream world, was I went to go destroy nightmares. Like, I went on wars with nightmares first. First, it was wars because in my dream, how nightmares are created is by us. Alright? You can't have a nightmare unless you have an evil person creating that nightmare. You get that? So basically, every time I found one nightmare, I'd find like 5 to 10 more nightmares, and it'd basically be like a small army. And then once they realized I was attacking them, that person creating those nightmares would just keep on making the same nightmares over and over again until I got that person that was creating those nightmares. And so I kept doing that for like 3 or 4 years, I think. No, I did that for like 2 years. My bad. 3 or 4 years ago, that's when I did that. 2 years I did that for. Only 2 years though, because eventually I ran out of nightmares to kill. I really did. I ran out of nightmares to kill. It was boring. And the crazy thing is that while I was doing that, no one was like, usually around here, when you have a nightmare or a crazy dream, you would share it with everyone right away. As soon as you wake up, you would share it with everyone. But as soon as I started doing that, no one had nightmares to share. It felt like I wasn't just killing my nightmares, but I was probably killing more nightmares out there. It could be the case, you know. You never know with the dream world. We don't know. We can't study it. All we know is we could lucid. Think about it. If we can lucid dream in the dream world, there must be more to it than that we know, you know. It must be connected to remote viewing. It must be connected to something else too. I just don't know what else it's connected to. I feel like it's connected to everything, honestly. I feel like the dream world's like when you actually wake up from this reality to another reality, and you're actually living a new life, a better life, a more fun life. At times I wish, you know, if I had to die, I would want to die by sleep. You know, I want to die falling asleep forever. Because I set up my dream world how I like it. It might not be stable. Oh, it's not stable. I destroyed my planet 3 to 4 times. You'll find that out in the series. I don't want to spoil it any more than that, because I'm not going to tell you how it got destroyed. It's crazy how my planet got destroyed. Honestly, even now, I don't even go to my planet anymore because I'm scared it's going to get destroyed again. So I try to stay away. I go on other people's planets. I avoid my planet because I'm a big target in my dream, I guess. That's probably why in last night's stream I went to that, you know, that Avatar planet in the end of it. I didn't want to take all that crap that I just did. Like, I punched that witch into space, I blew up that big alien spaceship, and next thing, you know, I couldn't go back to my planet after that. They'd follow me back or something, I feel like. So I went to the random planet that was under it. Anyways, yeah, today's video was about lucid dreaming. I hope you all enjoy that. I hope you all enjoy the little tips that I gave you, you know, letting you know about the new cartoon series that's going to be coming out in the future. I don't want to work on it just yet because I want to get some animators to work on it, because it's such a good idea. It's like, if I go to work on it alone, it's not going to be as good. That's why I haven't even started it yet. That's why I haven't even made a trailer for it yet, because I got the story all down. I know how the story goes step by step. I know exactly what I did in the dream world, honestly. Like, basically, I have mission logs. But I can't make the cartoon because it just won't be that good. It needs to be really kind of high quality. It doesn't need to be high quality, but it needs to be at least middle quality. And with my cartooning skills, they're very low quality. Very low quality. But so that's why I don't want to work on that awesome cartoon idea just yet. I want to have Adult Swim actually help with it. I think they would be the best to help with that series. Honestly, they'd have the funds, And then they would have the ideas too to put in it, honestly. Like we could be putting in, because with the Dream World series, it, like I said, it's connected to everything, you know? You just gotta travel to a new planet to find certain people if you want. And I mean like cartoon characters, anime characters, humans. You know, we got it all. We got all plans for everything in my Dream World. So, yeah, my Dream World would be awesome. Heck, there's even a witch planet. See, I'm getting too much into the story. I can't tell you all the story, or someone's going to go and steal my story and make this series themselves. And I will get no credit, and it'll look like I copied someone. Sucks. Because it's such an awesome story to tell. I wish I could just tell it to you all, you know, like a story, but it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as good. You want to see the visuals of these things that happen. This isn't a story for around the fire. This is a story to be watched, like a movie. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed that video and our little dream story time. Peace out. Stay awesome, people. But it's just how it is. Anyways, so I continue with my dream and I find this planet. And above the planet was this giant ship, like in Buzz Lightyear, it was a Zerg ship. And so I got onto it. And right away I knew I gotta blow up the ship. So that's what I did. As soon as I got on the ship, all these people on the ship, they weren't robots, so they were actually like crewmates. Like, what are you doing on this ship? I'm like, oh, nothing. I kept walking around and placing stuff I didn't know. I was placing bombs. But yeah, I was like, I'm not doing nothing, don't worry about it. I went up to the captain, and the captain finally catches me. He's like, hey, I know what you're doing. Stop that. Like, oh, crap. Like, I got this far, and I finally get caught. And then this captain pulls out, like, this gravity hammer from Halo. And then, like, he's about to charge at me with it. But I'm looking at all the bombs I set. And the only place I didn't set the bombs was the room which he was in. So if I set off the bombs, I knew that part of the ship would just like fall to the planet that he was on. And that's what I did. I set myself a bomb. All right, dude, if you want to fight, let's do this. Poof, poof, his whole ship blows up. And then he was stuck in, I think he actually blew up with it on. I think the explosion actually got into his room too, and I just watched him disintegrate. But before I hit that button, seeing my lucid dreaming, there's this thing you could do called a power suit. You do a power suit, you basically have a shield all around you. So meanwhile, while everyone was burning on that ship and exploding, I was just staying there watching like, okay. And then I got out, I teleported out of there back to the planet. I didn't even watch a ship like go crash landing. I just kept on with my mission. I didn't even, honestly, the crazy thing was in my head, I had no idea what my mission was. I felt like I was on rampage mode, honestly, but there was like a reason to it. That's all I knew. There was a reason to what I was doing. I just didn't know what that reason was. So I kept on my mission. See, that's because I watched that Buzz Lightyear movie before falling asleep. In that Buzz Lightyear movie, all he talks about is like, I gotta finish my mission. I gotta finish my mission. And he's like, I keep screwing up my mission. I give up on my mission. Like, I got every time in that movie, you'll hear him say at least mission at least like 20 times. So that's probably what gave me the idea of I was on mission mode in my dream. So I finally find a village, and it's like some Avatar stuff. Like, these people look like aliens, and I'm like, okay, this is getting too weird. At this point, I was like, yeah, I can't tell if these people are good or bad. So I woke myself up. I ended the dream there because I didn't want to continue. I felt like I was going to hurt them or something. I was like, I don't know. If I hurt them, I can't tell those. The witch, I could tell that was evil. She shot me in the eye with an arrow, right? The big ship, I could tell was evil. Well, actually, I couldn't tell it was evil. I mean, it could have been a good ship, and I could have accidentally, went too fast with my mission and just got caught planting bombs. And, you know, the captain was like, I don't want you to blow up my good ship. You know, I don't know. But